The UK Conservative Party is being led by communists. Is that a revelation to you, Callum?
I wouldn't be shocked.
No. Well, don't be. So
It would explain a lot of things.
Yeah, it explains everything about the current UK Conservative Party and probably the previous one. Anyway, for some reason, the UK Conservative Party are allowing diversity hires.
What?
Literally, diversity and inclusion officers.
Oh, so not just we're going to make the all-female shortlist like the Communists and Labour, but we're going to hire commissars.
Yes. So the UK Conservatives are allowing the hiring of commissars. I don't know why they haven't defunded all of this. All of it. Without any question today. Or yesterday it should have been done. Should have been done when you first came into office, really.
I mean,
but it should definitely be done now.
December 2019 is when they got in power?
Yep.
It's now 2021 August.
Yep. They're still enacting leftist structures in government. So the UK government department tasked with supporting the Prime Minister and his cabinet has advertised a job position for a diversity and inclusion officer. They're not mandatory, you know. You don't have to have those. You don't need to do that. Remember, you've had 3 female prime ministers. You don't need any of the diversity and inclusion, where Labour haven't even had a female party leader yet.
Why would you need Labour activist advice on diversity?
Exactly. You actually are doing the right thing. And look at the cabinet as well. Priti Patel, Sajid Javid, and, you know, there are probably others.
Rishi Sunak.
Yeah, Kemi Badenoch, you know, like...
People who are diverse citizens, as Labour would say.
You know, Dominic Raab is Jewish. You know, it's like, you know, you don't have, like, this ethnically homogenous cabinet, and you didn't get there by having diversity and inclusion officers. You actually got people who are pretty good, actually.
Meritocracy.
Like, I actually quite like a lot of the Conservative cabinet's people. It's the rest of the party that seems to be the problem. I don't know why you're pandering to this crap, right? So anyway, this person will be tasked with identifying diversity and inclusion needs.
Sorry, what? Hang on. Are they saying like the brown skins members are going to need some kind of special needs?
No, I don't think that's quite what they're saying.
What
they're saying
do they mean?
Where do we not have brown people, and can we brown whatever the thing is? I mean, I don't know why you're doing what the Labour Party demands. You don't have to do that. You actually have achieved a diverse cabinet, if that's something you value, based on meritocracy, because it turns out they're not all inferior to white people.
But that's not even a need, though. Like,
no, of course it's not.
More diversity isn't a need.
Of course it's not.
But even in their language. So that's why I'm wondering, is he going to look around and be like, wow, because there was that planning stuff the Conservatives did. Yeah. They were like, here's special specifications for housing for ethnic minorities.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, you want white countertops? And I was like, what?
Why?
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering if this guy's going to be walking around cabinet being like...
Well, yeah, maybe. But this is the problem with essentially the Conservative Party following the Labour Party's power structures, is they have a bunch of assumptions built into them that are just not true. That, you know, non-white people aren't as capable as white people. Not true, right? That they have a specific set of, like you were saying, they need white countertops or something. Not true. You know, not true at all. Why are you doing this, right? But anyway, the job covering the Department of the Cabinet Office, which vets applicants for national security purposes, will pay the accepted candidate £40,000 a year, with helping to establish a more diverse workforce.
Who cares?
The Labour Party care. That's who cares about this. Labour, the left wing, the communists, they care about this. Conservatives shouldn't be caring about this. You should be caring about the best for the job. Anyway, the candidate will be expected to ensure fairness and equal opportunity for all. Very conservative. While maintaining good relationships with diversity-related groups.
Those two things are in contradiction.
Yes.
You can't have equal opportunity for all whilst also being like, yeah, equal outcome, please.
Yes, that's correct. And essentially what that means is there are going to be a list of diversity-related groups, I imagine many of them taxpayer-funded, that should all be listed and defunded by the Conservatives now, right this second.
It sounds like an insult.
It is, that's why. It's literally saying you're not good enough because you're non-white. And the whites will do better than you because you're non-white, and therefore we have to give you special treatment because you're non-white. And I just want to say, we don't agree with that at all. We think that's deeply illiberal and totally immoral. Anyway, they say maintain diversity, good relationships with diversity-related groups and key stakeholders to enhance the reputation of the Security Vetting Office. Oh yes, this is really making me think well of their reputation. This is really giving them a good reputation in my eyes.
The hell does that even mean?
It means
the vetting office for security needs more brown people, and that will enhance the reputation of the security vetting office.
It means that the Labour Party, the Liberal Democrats, and the media that loves and fawns over them won't be able to say, "Hey, you're racist, you're racist."
What?
That's
The security vetting office?
Yes.
It gives a toss about that.
Well, everyone on the left, I guess,
Ugh.
because it's another piece of territory they can take away from the Conservatives. Anyway, so currently the UK government pays a number of external organisations to give it advice on how to meet diversity and inclusion quotas. One such organisation is Stonewall, which were given £1 million in taxpayer money over the last year. Conservative government, £1 million to left-wing organisation. Why?
Extreme left.
Sorry. Yeah, not like, an old school Labour class conscious organisation. No, extreme left radical organisation called Stonewall. This charity advised the government to replace the word mother with parent who has given birth and allow those who self-identify as a woman to use female toilets and change rooms in government buildings.
You know what they get paid to do as well for that £1 million? Literally just copy-paste the same document saying use the pronouns. Send it off to you.
Undoubtedly. This is my money that's going to these communists from the Conservative government. Stop it. Stop it. And if you're a member of the Conservative Party, just a regular person who's watching this, write to your local Conservative. Write to whoever it is who's the nearest Conservative to you, your local representative, I don't know, party affiliate or whatever it is, and just say, look, this has got to stop.
If you're a party member, just talk to the fellow councillors or a conference, talk to the MPs about what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, pass this up. I'm going to leave this party if you keep funding communism. Because they are. And I'm not even joking. So let's go on to the next one. The Communist Sage Advisor, Susan Mitchie. That Jeremy Clarkson, of all people, had to come out and be like, why? Why are the Conservatives funding communists? I just can't understand it. You should have a policy. No communists, no Nazis. Why is that hard?
Simple as.
Yeah, simple as, right? So Clarkson, who I actually am warming to a lot recently because my wife made me watch his farming thing. He did this farming thing. It was actually really good. And he was actually, it was actually very nice. And it was somewhere in the Southwest as well. So it was like, yay, representation. But he blasted the government's advisory body SAGE, which is the Scientific Advisory Group for Emergencies, for its inclusion of communist advisors. Why did it take Jeremy Clarkson to do that? Literally every single Conservative MP should be like, why are you hiring communists? Like, the idea...
Day one. She's a current member of the Communist Party. Has been for decades. Just day one you find out the fact, she's fired.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, we're not having... Like, oh, you're part of the Nazi Party? No, you're fired too. Part of the Labour Party? You're fired as well.
Actually, yes.
Yeah, I wasn't joking. Anyway, Clarkson was on Radio Times and referred to Susan Mitchie, who warned in July that allowing community transmission of COVID surge is like building new variant factories at a fast rate. So, blah, 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 right? And she's a psychologist. She's not an epidemiologist or anything like that. She's been a member of the Communist Party for her entire adult life and is known in leftist circles as Stalin's nanny. Cute name. Well, we hire Stalin's nanny, the psychologist, to advise about a disease outbreak. Yeah, I think...
Do you think Hitler's nanny is working in the NHS?
Yeah, maybe. But I think maybe she's not someone who actually knows or cares about the disease and is maybe interested in bringing back communism.
But in the sense, if there was a group of neo-Nazis working in, some NHS trust, and one of them running them was called Hitler's nanny, that wouldn't last 5 seconds.
I wouldn't want them advising the government.
No.
Weirdly. But she of course went on, was it Good Morning Britain with Richard Madeley, and he was tepidly like, so is there anything about you being a communist that maybe influences your decisions here? And she's like, no, you never asked that about anyone else. It's like, obviously yes.
I wouldn't ask it of Hitler's nanny.
Yes. Anyway, she apparently regularly appeared on alongside Stephen Riker, a professor at the University of St Andrews, who regularly references Marxists, including Leon Trotsky, the Italian philosopher Antonio Gramsci, on his own Twitter feed. So he's constantly promoting these ideas in public.
Trotsky.
And Gramsci. Gramsci, the author of the idea that we should use Marxism to affect culture. The critical race theorists also reference Gramsci, just so you know. Reading through their book, there are lots of references to Gramsci and how Gramsci was right. We can use Marxism to alter culture. They all know what they're doing. Professor Anne Phoenix, a psychologist researching intersectionality, radicalization, ethnicity, and gender at University College London, was also a co-signatory. Brilliant. Brilliant. As woke as you come. The blog post calling for further lockdown restrictions to be imposed indefinitely declared, if people to act responsibly, they need their government to fulfill its own responsibilities to make safe behaviour possible. That's really interesting when she's got like a 15-bedroom mansion in London and a sort of 300-acre estate in Wales. So I'm sure lockdowns weren't a problem for her. She's not like living in a 2-bedroom council house in Norwich or something. Not her problem.
Well, she is living the communist culture, at least, like every communist leader.
Yeah, I suppose. But anyway, Clarkson said, when the pandemic started, I read up on pandemics and they tend to be 4 years long. I think the politicians should sometimes tell those communists at Sage to get back in their box. Let's all just go through life with our fingers crossed and a smile on our faces. I can see that Boris doesn't want to open up and shut us, shut us back down again. If it's going to be 4 years, who knows? It could be 40 years. If it's going to be forever, let's open it up, and if you die, you die. Memento mori. That's all I'm saying. Jeremy Clarkson's got it. We all die. We just have to accept it. We can't live in fear. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about conservatives against racism for equality. Conservatives for equality. That's right. We are conservatives. Yes, we want communism. How did you know?
I'm a socialist for liberalism. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
I'm sure these people are perfectly sane.
As you can see there, they describe themselves the UK's first centre-right organisation for improving race relations. Oh yeah, I'm sure.
No, equality never improves race relations.
No, not even
BLM have made them markedly worse.
Right, John, can we scroll down this just so we can see some of their retweets, just to see the kind of thing they've got here? Right, scroll down a bit. Right, so they're retweeting Steve Baker, who is apparently pipped to be the next Tory leader, and we'll talk about anti-Steve Baker action in a minute. But if we can scroll down a bit, you can see that it's, just constant, the sort of stuff, honestly, that could come up on Jeremy Corbyn's timeline. Why are we seeing this?
To stop culture wars, learn from gay rights. Well,
yes.
You can't stop culture wars. Culture wars are de facto...
Yeah, but no, go back up a second. Let's go back to the that Albie one. Sorry, no, down a little bit. Right. So, love to see our Conservative Home series on the politics of race and ethnicity in Britain today. Oh, that's totally conservative. That's not woke, left-wing, communist bollocks.
Politics of race and ethnicity.
Yes. That's conservatism in 2021.
Race politics.
Unbelievable, isn't it? Our Conservatives' argument seems to be class is more important than race, but why have most black and some South Asian groups been stuck at the bottom of the UK class system since the 60s? Okay, why is it some South Asian groups? Why is it some? And when you say most black, what you mean is most Caribbean. You don't mean most Africans, because the Africans are not stuck at the bottom of the class hierarchy in Britain. But we don't want to talk about that. But again, if you view things in the politics of race and ethnicity, you can't distinguish between the two. They are black, therefore. That's it. And that's Tony Sewell's Race Report has demolished this narrative. So why the Conservatives, for equality, promoting it? I'm absolutely disgusted by it, right? And so you can go to their website, calf.org, and see their pledge. Look at this pledge. Racism. If we see it, we'll call it out. If we're made aware of it, we'll call it out. If we discover it, we'll call it out. That's right. Become a race inquisitor, right? They say, Conservatives against racism for equality are pushing to address racial disparities, and we are committed to tackling injustices faced by ethnic minorities. How is that not Labour? How is that not Labour rhetoric? How is that not the rhetoric of the left wing? We will play our part to repair the hurt by raising awareness of social injustice, as in implication being we're for social justice. There we go. How you couldn't get any more clear. We pledged our commitment to level up the inequality in health, education, justice, housing, and career outcomes.
Sorry, did they even proofread that?
No.
I want to level up inequality in health and education.
That's literally what the Conservatives should be saying. That's right, memento mori, level up inequality.
Free choice, not equality.
Yes.
Oh, God.
But what they mean is promote equality in health, education, justice, housing, career outcomes.
Nobody wants that except communists.
Well, yeah, exactly. This is the communist tool.
Who wants equal housing?
No one. I don't want to live in the same house as some person who's never had a job. Why would I want that? I worked very hard to live in the house I live in, thank you very much.
Equal career outcomes.
Equal outcomes. Just that's the words. Equal outcomes. That's what they want. That's not conservative. That is communist. God damn it. I hate.
What even is an equal career outcome for the whole country?
Oh,
God, we're all just going to be serfs? That's the only way you got to do it, surely.
I guess. I just can't stand that the Conservative Party is this polluted with leftism.
We're going to have equal health. Everyone gets the same ration.
Yes. And if you can scroll down just a little bit, you can see who signed this. Steve Baker, MP.
Jeremy Hunt. Oh, God, who else is there? I can see... You remember Jeremy Hunt was going to be the Prime Minister if Boris wasn't voted in?
Yep.
In the party?
Yep.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, that's a lot of MPs.
That's a lot of idiot MPs.
That's a worrying amount of MPs.
That's a lot of Labour MPs. No, they're actually Conservatives. I'm just joking.
God damn you. I was really hoping it was.
No, there are of course Conservative MPs.
Oh, Deputy Chairman of the London Conservatives.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. Isn't this just disgusting? Look at all these Conservatives. Oh, yeah, I support leftism. Yeah, shut up. Shut up. You're all bad people. Especially you, Steve Baker.
This guy, I think it was, how did you say his name? I think it was Albi
Amankona.
I saw a debate between him and Calvin Robinson, and Calvin Robinson destroyed him because it was on the topic of taking the knee in the middle of football.
It's because Calvin Robinson is a conservative and Albi Amankona is a leftist.
So Calvin took the position of keep politics out of sport.
Oh, wow.
The politically neutral position.
Conservative position.
He didn't even say, we should stand up and, sing yes, conservatism and rattle stuff.
We should be singing Rule Britannia.
Yeah, he didn't do that. He was like, no, let's just go back to neutral political zones. And Albie was arguing that taking the knee had nothing to do with BLM. It's like, no one believes that. No one's going to believe you.
How could you make that case?
It's just so dumb. I just responded underneath with, pictures of footballers wearing Black Lives Matter and taking the knee. I was like, no one believes you, you moron.
All of them... the George Floyd protests for Black Lives Matter. We're going to bend the knee. I mean, what?
Yeah, he was like, no, it comes from that guy in America. I can't remember the American footballer who took the knee originally.
Yeah, Colin Kaepernick.
And then being like, well, just his original reasons of standing up to racism.
For Black Lives Matter. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, so anyway, let's carry on with Albi Amankona, who had an interview with the BBC. And just even scroll down just to see how the way that the BBC decided to characterise this and quote him, right? He, from Conservatives Against Racism, has written to all of the party's MPs to say that they should really be listening to people when they say it is anti-racist, not anti-capitalist or anti-British. That's right. Leftism is not anti-capitalist or anti-British.
Is this guy just a snake or something?
Well, he's clearly an infiltrator. Or he's an idiot. I
really hope it's idiot.
No, I think it's infiltrator.
Did you know leftism isn't anti-capitalist? What do you think it is?
Did you know it wasn't anti-British, even though we literally think that Britain is an evil imperial empire?
Oh, God.
Get out. Just get out, right? He also warned that the party could face an existential crisis if it did not take a stand, and it could be very difficult for Conservatives to win a large Commons majority, as 38% of the UK population could be non-white by 2050. That's right, white people just can't stand Conservatives, which is why these non-white people joined the Conservative Party. What are you saying?
Again, the leftist thinking non-white people will never vote right-wing or something like that. Like, you ain't black. You're taking the Joe Biden racial position on this.
Hindus, Sikhs, Gurkhas.
We have the data.
All overwhelmingly Conservative voting.
And Jews, actually.
And Jews. Muslims vote Labour. So it's those people who want to play identity politics versus those people who don't want to play identity politics. And for some reason, the Conservatives are playing identity politics.
But look at that level of thinking. That's racial political thinking.
And that's also
like a leftist.
And that's also, by the way, in 30 years, this country is going to be filled with the rest of the world, and therefore you're going to have to vote against British interests. Don't agree, right? So what the Conservatives should do, cease all immigration. Cease it. When you put up a little thing on the website, when they say, I'd like to apply for a visa, you just have, we're not accepting applications at this time. Thank you very much.
Please come back later.
Yeah. And you just leave it there for 30 years, right?
No one has a right to your country. My borders, my choice. That is the position the ruling party can take.
Yes. Then you get rid of everything that Blair did. Devolved parliaments, quangos, various other left-wing racial initiatives. You get rid of all of these things.
Lord Chancellor.
Yep. You get rid of anything that hints at a parallel legal system. You vet any advisor for anything you do for communist or Nazi sympathies. And you promote Scrutonian conservatism, and then you win. You save the country, you make the place a good place to live for everyone, not just white people, for everyone who lives here. And that makes you massively popular and means that your polling doesn't start going down, Boris, as it has recently.
Which is why when you campaign on being based, and then you get the biggest majority.
Yes. You campaign on doing the right thing and not being a leftist.